In this video, I'm going to be using a stippling technique to add tone to 3D shapes. Stippling is a dot technique that you use to build up tone. The closer you put your dots together, the darker the tone. Try and keep your pen as close to the page as possible so that you are more accurate with where you're placing them. Start with the darkest side first and try and build up your tone from each corner of the shape. Take your stippling right to the edges so that you retain your shape. Stippling is a slow process. The darkest sides will take the longest, but the process will speed up when you go to do the medium and light sides. This side has a medium tone, so the dots will be further apart. Even though the dots are further apart on this side, still remember to go right to the edges of the shape. The top of the cuboid is the lightest because this is where your light source is coming from. So you need to make sure that your dots are much further apart. Again, make sure you still go to the edge of the shape. The next shape I'm going to be stippling is the cone. The arrow shows where the light source is coming from. This side of the cone is going to be the darkest, and you're going to be stippling in triangular shapes. Try and keep your stippling in the triangular shape and stipple to a point towards the top of the cone. Repeat this process in another triangular shape, but keep the dots further apart this time. Here I'm just blending the stippling together so that you don't see an immediate difference between one triangular shape and the next. Go over the cone until your stippling blends gradually. The stippling, much like the cone, should go gradually from dark to light around the curved edge. Do this in bands, and each band should be gradually lighter than the one before. Then try to blend each band together so that there's no definite line. The top of the cylinder, much like the top of the cuboid, should be quite light, as this is where your light source is coming from. Make sure your dots are much further apart, but still ensure that you go right to the edges of the shape. The sphere is probably the hardest shape to master. Start at the bottom of the sphere and you want to stipple the darkest side first. You want to stipple in a crescent moon shape. Take your stippling around the edges of the sphere and let them peter out a little bit like the same way that was done with the cone, only this time you're having to work in a curve. Each of these crescent moon shapes should be gradually lighter as you go towards the top and to the centre of the sphere. Each time your crescent moon should get gradually more curved until you're almost stippling in a circle. Once you're stippling towards the top of the sphere, you need to stipple much lighter. Go over your stippling until the blend becomes more gradual and that there's no sudden changes in tone.